Hi. More than a week ago, I discussed about the COVID-19 zombies. I describe COVID zombies as people who are not aware of whether they are infected or not. And such a feeling can be very, very painful, disturbing, and even torturing for the said zombie. And today, I have a confession to make. I was once a zombie too. I too did not know whether I was infected or not. You see, this is how it happened. In the early week or early part of March, I had a friend who died, and the finding 4 days that came out 4 days later was that he was positive for COVID-19. And to think that in the first week of March, I was with that friend. I and about 100 more people, 100 more friends, 100 more colleagues in a civic club. We had a grand activity, a kawang gawa, involving thousands of people. But after that, about 4 days later after the event, my friend was rushed to the hospital. He was in his 60s, and we were told that he had pneumonia and that he was on quarantine and intubated. And we pity him because he was very lonely, very desperate, and of course, very afraid. And then we monitored him. Through text, through email, through his relatives, we tried to give him comfort. But then he died about 10 days later after we met him. So you can see how that incident tortured us. We were waiting for hospital, Department of Health officials to go to us to do contact tracing, because we read or we watch similar incidents abroad where they automatically do contact tracing rather. And there was 100 of us meeting him. In fact, after the activity, we even went to a restaurant and had a merienda together in several tables. So, and the restaurant was full. But then again, none of the 100 people were ever contacted. None. So, you can just imagine, it was during that time that I shocked my friends when I did a quote practice goodbye video. In fact, I erased it already because it disturbed many of my friends and relatives a lot. But by then I was already thinking, what if I'm also infected? So we only got comfortable after none of us got sick, and after the 14 days period from our meeting with him had elapsed. So that was me, and that was my personal experience. That is why many friends are surprised why suddenly I'm very critical of this government, especially the Department of Health and all other officials related to the or having some minor or major roles in the fight against COVID-19. Of course, I mourn for my friend. That was a big loss. He was a good friend. And he was very instrumental in helping our organization give free water, purified water to schools, free television, and he installed several, he undertook the construction with his staff to fix the rooms and in a school for public school for poor children. He was such a big loss to us. He was such a big loss to the community. And until now, we mourn for him. But also, we also were very much disturbed. So, you can just imagine if we got infected too. Luckily, maybe he could have gotten infected after our meeting. So, just imagine if he would have infected us and the thousands of people who were in that activity in Quezon City. Now the ground zero of COVID-19 in Metro Manila. You can just imagine how that the disease could have spread to about thousands, even 100,000 by this time. And until now, nobody contacted us. And we were too afraid to go to the hospital because in the first place, none of us manifested symptoms. So we did not go to the hospital anymore. So as our president makes his final decision tomorrow, whether to extend or not the quarantine, the community quarantine or the lockdown, I hope he evaluate key points in the fight against COVID-19, because experts here and abroad are already telling everyone quarantine alone will not work if we don't do what is necessary during the quarantine period. And that is 1, mass testing, 2, isolation or quarantine, strict quarantine of people suspected to be infected or who are manifesting signs of symptoms of COVID-19, and most especially contact tracing. If these are not done, then kahit mag-quarantine ka na isang taon, the zombies, like I was once, unaware whether I was infected or not, these zombies will just be going and spreading the disease with themselves asymptomatic and unaware that they are already infecting others. So you see, the figures are not, I made a research whether from the time my friend died in early March to now, whether the government has improved. No, it did not. It did not use the 35 days of quarantine to its advantage. It did not do its job, especially the Department of Health. As of now, we only have 55,000 tests. And now we have 6,599 cases and 437 deaths. A UP pandemic response team did a simulation to see, based on the zombies out there, how many Filipinos will be hospitalized at the peak period of COVID-19. And they estimated there will be 50,000 Filipinos who will be infected more. We're not in the peak of the pandemic yet. And 1 month into the pandemic, from the first time we had a positive case end of January, they only managed to increase testing from 300 a day to 3,000 to 8,000 in 17 accredited testing centers. And of the 17, only 5 are outside Metro Manila. And they include Baguio, Iloilo, Cebu, and Davao. So you see, 17 out of 1,700 or out of the Philippine 7,100 islands. So can you just imagine how the rest of the archipelago are left untested? And now, just to give you an illustration, Korea, which has been reported, which has been described as a success story in the fight against COVID, it's doing 20,000 tests a day, and its population is even just half of the Philippines 110 million population. Even former Health Secretary Manuel Dairit described our way of responding, testing of the suspected infected persons as caveman style, meaning napakahina, lumang style, kumbaga old style, not modern, not aggressive enough, and not creative enough even. That's why kung makikita nyo, kahit mismo mga frontliners natin, mga doctors and nurses natatamaan. And this is a matter of concern to the World Health Organization, dahil in our region, tayo ang meron isa sa pinakamaraming kaso na mga frontliners na mamatay for lack of PPEs, for lack of facilities, and support from the government. Even an ally of President Duterte and Congressman Joey Salceda has warned the president that if he shall have lifted the quarantine by the end of this month, it will unleash, or it will ignite a chain reaction or trigger a chain reaction where there will be 1.4 billion social contacts. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga tao na, nagmi-meet casually, accidentally. Hindi pa yung family meetings or trip to the groceries, yun lang yung nakasalubong mo ng mga tao. 1.4 billion social contacts. Kaya nga sabi niya, ang testing, maka-achieve natin yung 8,000 daily testing, May 15 pa. That's why he wants the quarantine extended to May 15. Kasi yun nga, like I said earlier, sabi niya 3 factors dapat ma-meet muna bago i-leave. Care for the elderly. Wala. Hindi pa naman ako elderly, pero may mga kasamahan ko, karamihan elderlies. Yung sa 100, but none were contacted. Proper distancing and health measures. Well, ito lang ginagawa ngayon, pero marami pa rin pasaway. And most importantly, dapat ginagawa na yung mass testing and contact tracing. From my side, dapat tinest na ako, yung 100 na kasamahan ko, dapat na test na rin, at na contact tracing na rin, sino pa na-meet niya, sino na-meet namin intern, ganun. Wala, none of that happened. So tingnan nyo gaano nakakatakot yung sitwasyon natin. Later on, I will discuss why the government is so unprepared, because most of its budget went to pork barrel, both for Malacanang and Senate and the House of Representatives. So, kung nakikita nyo, sa figure natin, na-increase lang tayo cases daw of 200 a day, ganun. Sa abroad, 1,000 a day. Ang difference ay may malaking number sila of tests. Tayo, napakakarampot compared sa kanila. Kaya, yung Singapore, na mataas na rin ngayon, out of 6 million population, gumawa na sila ng 16,000 2 or 3 tests per million of the population. Pagkatapos yung Germany, na mataas rin ng kaso, almost the same population as ours, 83 million lang sila, 300,000 tests a day. Yung Vietnam, na 95 million population, nakagawa na sila 110 testings as of now. So, sana, if the president will make a report to justify his decision whether to extend or not the quarantine, Mr. President, wala na pong bulahan. Magsabi na po tayo ng katotohanan. Hindi na po ito campaign. Stop worrying about your popularity rating or the chances of winning of your presidential candidate in 2022. Baka hindi na po darating yun dahil marami nang namamatayan by then kung hindi natin na-control. So, kung ma-achieve natin ang testing by 10,000 daily, na sabi ni Joey Salceda, magagawa natin by mid-May. So, siguro yung kaso natin aakyat by 1,000 daily new cases. So, meron din po mga eksperto sinasabi, hindi pa tayo na-peak at pwede ma-peak hindi lang sa 50,000 kundi 5 million. At kung hindi daw nga po tayo nag-quarantine, baka 18 million na infected or cases by these times. So yun po, meron rin po mga experts sinasabi na they put the figure of zombies, yung mga COVID-19 na di tiyak or di alam or di aware na infected na sila to be 15,000. 15,000 po. Pero sa akin, tingin ko mas mataas pa. Kasi, yun nga, who can tell? Out of 110 million Filipinos, ang na-test 55,000 pa lang. Napakaliit na representation yun. At 5 testing centers lang sa probinsya at 12 na dito sa Manila. So, paano natin mag-gauge? Paano natin matiyak or malaman kung ilan ba talaga ang infected? At ang masakit, yung hindi alam, yung di tiyak, ay umiikot. Hindi man siguro sa komunidad, kundi sa mga bahay-bahayan nila. Yung problema, kung kahit isa o dalawang relative lang meron sila na pasaway, yun ang magkakalat po. At asymptomatic, yun ang magkakalat na. So yun po. Yun po ang sitwasyon natin ngayon. Kaya po, ang pakiusap ko lang po, wag na po natin masyadong ilagay ang lahat ng prioridad natin sa quarantine. Kasi po, kung makita natin yung direksyon ng gobyerno, parang quarantine na lang po ang solusyon eh. Parang stay at home and the disease will die. Ako po, nag-stay at home ako. Kung infected ako, patay na ako. Not the disease. Or yung 100 na kaibigan ko. O karamihan sa amin. So Mr. President, quarantine is not the solution. Dapat mass testing. Dapat contact tracing and isolation of those infected. Sa Wuhan po, sa China, kung naka-quarantine sila, pero pupunta yung mga health experts, yung mga frontliners, binabahay-bahayan sila po at hinihila sila po sa mga sasakyan kung meron sila symptoms. Kahit ayaw nila, kahit pumapalag, nakikita natin sa video, hinihila sila po ng pulis sa mga police cars. Hindi po natin nakikita yun. Nakikita lang natin papatayin daw po yung mga lumalabas, yung mga pasaway. Okay rin naman sana yun, pero sana po contact tracing talaga po ang pinaka-importante. So, isa pa po, ang hinihiling ko lang po, dapat tumigil na rin yung gobyerno na yung pagka-project nila, they are projecting the poor people as pasaway, as stupid, or takot mamatay. Pareho po sa atin lahat, takot rin yan mamatay po. Mas lalo na yan. May mga pamilya yan po na nakadepende sa kanila. Kaso lang po, sana alamin rin natin yung kultura nila po. Karamihan dyan, sanay sila sa arawan na sweldo po. Kaya arawan ang bilihan sa kanila. Siyempre, hindi ko naman sinasabi walang pasaway. Marami rin po talagang pasaway. Pero karamihan, they just want to eat. They just want to wala po mga savings yan. So, opo, hindi ko kinukonsinti sila, pero dapat po, it goes hand in hand. May quarantine po, may strict quarantine compliance. Tulad kami po ng pamilya namin, nandito kami sa bundok, naka-quarantine kami. Pero po, dapat rin po, meron rin po kasamang contact tracing, mass testing. Dapat po, andyan rin yung konsentrasyon ng gobyerno. Kasi po, unfair po na puro ang blame natin sa mga pasaway na mahirap. Napaka-unfair sa kanila po. Kasi po, sa totoo lang, and this will be the subject of another video, ang Malacanang po ang biggest pasaway po eh. Sila po, January pa po, pero kung balikan nyo yung mga statement ng Malacanang, kung hindi, binibigyan nila tayo ng false hope, mamamatay lang daw yung COVID, saan na ba daw si COVID, magagalit daw ang China kung pigilin natin yung mga flight sa China. Yun po, Malacanang rin po ang kwan eh. And yet, Malacanang is blaming the poor. Hindi po, may kasalanan po ang mahirap. Pero, ang mahirap po, wala silang kakayahan o resources or power na meron ang Malacanang. Wala silang power to stop flights from China. Wala silang power para i-fire si Duque, si Health Secretary Duque kung palpak sa trabaho. At wala silang power na bigyan ang DOH, RITM, and other frontline agencies na bilyon-bilyon na pondo to fight COVID-19. So sana po, let us put things into perspective. And like everyone else, I pray very hard that God will give our President the guidance to do what is right. Kung tuloy pa po yung quarantine, I support that. Pero kung i-lift yung quarantine, the more po, gawin na po natin yung mass testing, gawin natin yung contact tracing, and isolation doon sa mga suspected to be infected. Let us do things right. Wala na pong bulahan. Don't blame the poor. Own up to the mistakes kung meron man. Fire Duque if necessary. And let us help the Philippines. Sinasabi nyo po, let us heal as one. But also, we cannot heal by ourselves. Or the disease will not go away by just because we are saying heal by ourselves or don't criticize. Let us also do things right. Especially yung DOH. So yun po. Let us pray for our country, and we are praying for the President and also those advising him. And lastly po, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Armand Dinokum. At dahil po as a zombie, marami pa po akong mga observations and revelations and analysis na gagawin po in the hope that the government will listen and you, the readers, will spread so that people will get to know what is the real situation. Unfortunately po, we are not getting the true picture from the government. So kaya po meron mga sites na ganito to give you po the true picture. Good day and stay safe.